Are you now ready for the number one thing that I do that allows me to stay lean? Are you ready? Have you guessed it? Can you guess it? I don't think you can guess it. Coach Greg, and in today's video, I'm going to explain my top 5 methods that I use to burn fat. As you know, it's not the leaner the better. I preach 15% body fat, but for the most part, the majority of people are actually overweight. And so if you're not overweight, you can skip this video. You don't need to watch it. But if you are overweight, perhaps you're obese and you need to lose some weight to get healthy, well, please watch this video. It can certainly help you on your weight loss journey. And so what I've done is I've ranked them in the top 5. And so I'm going to start with the 5th most important thing that I do to help me burn fat. I'm going to move up to number 1. Now remember, this is my list and my top 5. It is going to vary from person to person. One person may feel that one method is more important for them than another. And so it can vary from person to person. But regardless of that, please watch these top 5 and let me know in the comment section, rank them for your own top 5. Which are the most important for you? And so without further ado, let's get right into it. And so the 5th most important thing, that's right, in 5th place, supplements. And so you're thinking, oh, supplements can do everything. It should be number 1. I watched on Instagram, TikTok, this peptide OED, it doubles your fat burning ability than you are at rest. It's doubling, so it's got to be number 1. Nope, not even close. And so, truth be told, supplements are only in 5th place. That means there's 4 things more important than even supplements. And so, which supplements do I think are the most important? Well, for me, it's GO2 Max. And why GO2 Max? Well, it allows you to perform cardio at a faster pace. You're literally burning more calories than last time. You're exercising faster. You're recovering more between sets. And so I'm able to burn more calories in less length of time, or I can exercise further. Rather than riding only 30 or 60 minutes, perhaps I can ride 60 minutes or an hour. The longer you perform cardio, the more calories you're burning, the more it blunts my appetite and therefore allows me to be much leaner. In my entire life, and remember, I'm 47, I've never had such an easy time of maintaining my body fat percentage as I have right now. And that's even in comparison to when I was abusing, that's right, abusing performance-enhancing drugs for 10 years. I find it much easier right now at the age of 47 than even when I was in my 30s when I was abusing PEDs. And for me, it's GO2 Max, of which the main ingredient is NMN, which has been recently banned by the FDA. That's right, it's that good. It's in banning it. They're trying to call it a drug, but it's not a drug. It's not banned by WADA. But for other people, it might be something like Ozempic, or otherwise known as a semaglutide. Or perhaps it's a fat burner. Perhaps it's caffeine coffee. And for others, perhaps they're prescribed this by their doctor. For example, modafinil or even Adderall. And so, of course, don't ever use supplements or fat burners without the advice and consent from your doctor. And never, ever break the law. And if you're interested in using any of the Harder Than Last Time supplements, we have so many of them. Of course, you can click the link in the description, use code Greg to get you 10% off. And now that we have the supplements out of the way, the top 4, the best 4 things you can do to help you to burn fat. And for me, in 4th place, lifting weights. And why does lifting weights help you to burn fat? Well, it increases your lean body mass, and for every pound of muscle that you gain, it burns off 8 additional calories. That means if you lift weights, add on 10 pounds of muscle, your BMR, the calories you burn at rest, it's going to go up by 80 calories. And you're thinking, yeah, that ain't much, only 80 calories. And it may not seem like much, but think of it. With all those extra 10 pounds of muscle, every time you move, you go for a walk, you lift weights, you're burning off additional calories. The extra muscle allows you to be stronger, faster. And so if you're racing bikes, you have 10 extra pounds of muscle in your legs, you're pedaling that much faster. You're in the gym lifting heavier weights, doing things, moving more. And so in the end, it may in fact burn 200 to 300 additional calories rather than just that 80. Not only that, lifting weights does in fact burn off calories, not nearly as much as doing steady state cardio, but yes, it's going to burn off calories. And so if you're to lift weights, build muscle, you have a faster metabolism, it's going to help you to burn off fat. And in 3rd place, that means there's 2 even better than this, a healthy diet. You're thinking diet had to be number 1. It's not. And by a healthy diet, I don't mean just eating chicken, broccoli, and rice. And I don't even mean just eating from my cookbook. A healthy diet to me means you're eating the appropriate micro and macronutrients. Not necessarily from all 4 food groups. Some people may in fact benefit from a keto diet, perhaps it's carnivore. But what it truly means is that you're eating the appropriate number of calories for your age, body weight, and activity levels, and so on. and that you're giving the body what it needs. Some people perhaps need more of one thing than another. We're all different. And for me, diet, it's in third place. There's two things even more important than what I'm eating, even more important than my cookbook, that allows me to stay lean. And so remember, and I do want to stress this, a healthy diet doesn't mean you just eat all healthy foods. And so if your diet is 80% healthy foods and 20% chocolate, candies, ice cream, and so on, then so what? If you're eating the appropriate amount of calories, that is what you need. Just don't neglect your fibers, fruits, vegetables, proteins, and so on. And to me, if you can do that, then of course you can eat foods that are not deemed healthy by the average person. It's all about balance. And so a healthy diet, that's in number 3. And number 2, the second most important thing that's allowed me to stay lean, cardio. And you're thinking, I know you said in the past, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. I can. I could literally eat anything and everything that I want, no matter what it is. Pizza, ice cream, candies, cakes, chips, you name it. If I eat all those things that I want, as much of it, and I'm doing tons of cardio, I'm going to burn off those calories. And for me, when I do a lot of cardio, especially if it's hard cardio, it seriously reduces my appetite. And so think of it. I'm stating I can eat anything and everything I want as long as I'm doing a lot of cardio, then I'm not going to gain weight. And why do you think that is? Because the more cardio I do, the less I want to eat. And so it's easy. And so imagine you're doing a lot of cardio, you're less hungry. And so what do you want to eat? I finished a bike race and the chef's saying, hey, what do you want to eat? I'm like, well, in a couple hours, maybe I'll be able to eat, but I just did a bike race. And so I'm not hungry. Versus if I do no cardio and they say, what do you want to eat? And I list everything from the friggin' cookbook. I want it all, I'm hungry. And so doing cardio for me makes being lean so much easier. And you may or may not know this, but I was doing triathlon training when I was a teenager, 20 to 30 hours of cardio a week, and I was eating 5,000 plus calories a day, and I was quite lean. Why? Because I was doing so much cardio, I burned everything off. And trust me, I ate one of the worst diets you would ever see in your entire life. It was all crap, horrible food, fruits, vegetables. Why would I eat that? Tim Hortons donuts? Sure, give me 6 for breakfast. What do you want? Fries, burgers, chips? I want all the junk, and then give me several chocolate bars after. I had one of the worst diets in the world. Looking back, I am shocked at how poorly I chose to eat. And so how did I get away with this? I did so much cardio. I was training for triathlons. I loved to do cardio. And on top of that, I was in fact lifting weights. And so think of it. I was lifting weights, doing a lot of cardio, and so I could eat what I want. Doesn't that make sense? And so of course I out-exercised a bad diet. But just because I can out-exercise a bad diet doesn't mean that you can. You're thinking, okay, I'll start doing cardio and then I'll eat whatever I want. Yeah, that 30 minutes of HIIT cardio that you think you're doing, it's not enough to allow you to eat everything and anything you want. But if you're racing bikes and you're at the elite level, perhaps you're training for an Ironman and you try to gain weight, it's going to be very difficult. For the most part, anyone that gets into long distance aerobic cardiovascular training, they are going to lose weight. It's almost inevitable. And remember, if you're doing cardio, if you want to improve your cardio, you can of course pick up that bottle of GO2 Max with NMN. It's going to make cardio that much easier. You're able to do your cardio at a faster pace. And are you now ready for the number one thing that I do that allows me to stay lean? Are you ready? Have you guessed it? Can you guess it? I don't think you can guess it. Number 1, sleep. You're thinking, how could it possibly be sleep? How is sleep more important than all those other things? Well, I'm going to tell you why. For me, I suffer from narcolepsy. I can fall asleep throughout the day. I get extremely tired. And to the same extent, sometimes I find it excessively difficult to sleep during the night. I suffer from night terrors, insomnia, all kinds of problems. And so if I'm not sleeping, I don't get a good night's sleep and I wake up, do you know what I want to do? It ain't cardio, it's not lifting weights, it's not eating healthy, and so I'm much more likely to binge. My cortisol levels are through the roof, I'm not recovering from my workouts, both cardio and lifting weights, and I have no motivation. And so for me, sleep is paramount. I absolutely need it. And looking back when I was a bodybuilder, doing those competitions, blasting everything, including getting transomnia, making my narcolepsy even worse, do you know how difficult it was to diet, to stay lean? Wake up at 4 in the morning after going to bed at 2. All I could think about was food. In comparison, if I got a good night's sleep, wow, I'm sleeping, I can't be eating. And so I was taking and abusing sleeping pills as I needed to find a way to allow me to sleep through the night. So when I did sleep, diet was easy. In comparison, if I didn't sleep, it was a nightmare, a literal living nightmare. And although I'm speaking for myself, consider this. Let's say you're out going to the bar, partying harder than last time, getting drunk, staying up all night. Perhaps you get 2 hours sleep and you wake up. What is your next day going to be like? You're hungover, you never slept, you never recovered, and you order some pizza to the door. You eat junk food, you sit around, do nothing, you laze around on the couch, feeling horrible, regretting your life's decisions. And so imagine if you had have gotten those 8 hours of sleep. Imagine how much better you'd feel. You probably would have woke up on Saturday, Sunday, perhaps gone to the gym, gone for a bike ride with your friends, perhaps 70 kilometers like I was doing in the summer. And so what do you think is going to happen? You're going to burn off a ton of calories. But instead of that, because you didn't sleep, you're hungover, you feel like crap, you're eating junk, you're not burning off any calories. And so rather than eating healthy, following your diet, you're falling off your diet, eating junk. And what does that lead to? Well, it leads to you having gained some weight. But if only you had gotten the proper night of sleep. If only you could have slept. And so sleep, for me, perhaps the most underrated, least talked about things that the human body literally must have in order to survive. Think of it. We've evolved for perhaps millions of years. But yet we haven't evolved to not need sleep. Regardless of all the benefits you would think that you would have of not sleeping, our bodies have still evolved to require sleep. And so just think of it. Wouldn't you think that we would evolve to not need to sleep? After all, when are we our most vulnerable? When we're sleeping. Predators can sneak up on us, we're asleep. Not to mention, it's hard to go out there, find a mate, procreate if you're freaking sitting there sleeping. But yet, we need sleep, perhaps 8 hours. Some people need less, some people need more. Without the proper sleep, you can't think, your reaction time is slower. They even made a game show about it. And so if you're not sleeping enough, even if it's just 30 minutes less than you need, you're not at your best. You're not recovering effectively. You can't train as hard. You won't be as positive, as happy, and as good of a mood, and it's going to negatively impact your life. And so for me, the number one thing to allow you or help you to get lean, it's getting a proper night of sleep. And so if you suffer from insomnia, you're not getting great nights of sleep, you're constantly dragging yourself, you're not sleeping enough, perhaps you're too busy, you have a family, work, training, and so on, please do your best to get quality sleep. And remember, if you're not getting enough sleep, you're likely going to suffer from lower testosterone levels. You need to get your sleep for proper hormone balance. And so please go to your doctor and seek medical treatment if you are suffering from insomnia. HLT Sups, we do sell Delta Sleep, a natural over-the-counter sleep aid that can, of course, help you. But if this isn't enough for you, then, of course, please go out and seek medical attention. Go and consult with your doctor. Interested in Delta Sleep or GO2 Max or all the fat burners, the creatine, the protein powders, pre-workouts, protein bars, all of that stuff, please use code Greg, 10% off. Click the link in the description. And now if you have no money, you can't afford anything, you can't afford the cookbook, you can of course get my free diet and training program. It is over 50 pages quality information to help you on your weight loss journey. You get it for free. I ask nothing of you. You enter your first and last name, your email address so I can send it to you, and voila, you have a free program. And so it doesn't cost you anything. Now, if you want to support me and the channel, I don't have a Patreon account, I don't need that. You can simply get any of my supplements, the cookbooks, the training books, coaching plans by me and my team, phone consults, even a Cameo. And so please consider using those. Remember, code Greg, it does in fact save you 10% off. Subscribe and click the bell button. Like the video if you liked it. That's right. Right now, leave a like if you could. Also, leave a comment to help the algorithm. It's all I'll ask. You don't have to buy anything. If you could leave me a like and be a subscriber, that would do me so much good. Also, watch the Tube Loops. Give me a follow on Instagram. So much going on there. Greg Doucette, IPU Pro. And until next time, I am out.